What is going on, guys? In today's video, I will show you the top 10 best builds in Throne of Liberty after the new update. So each build is specifically made for different playstyles, from high speed magic bursts to heavy hitting melee power. We'll take a look at the best stats, skill rotations and gear, so you can maximize damage, control and survivability. No matter if you want to speedrun mobs, take down bosses or support your team, there's a build here for everyone. And remember, if you want to check these builds, look up the best items, the weapon masteries and path of building, then check my links in the description. Also, if you're interested in buying other PC or console games with 50 or 70% discount, then check out Instant Gaming. For example, I want to buy Elden Ring, so we just click on Add to Cart, then click Pay, then input our details and pay. After payment is complete, we will receive activation key, then copy and paste the key in, and it's that simple. So what are you waiting for? Click my link description and check out Instant Gaming for yourself. So for the first build, we have the Staff and Orb, which is a fast-paced DPS setup that is focused on rapid projectile attacks, heavy AoV and powerful burst combos. The orb serves as the core weapon by providing high-speed attacks and skill synergies, while the staff adds valuable fire and the burning effects for the extra damage over time. Stats will prioritize dexterity for higher critical damage, with strength, perception and wisdom, boosting survivability, the overall damage, and even mana regeneration. The key active skills include the Star Calling, Stellar Dash, Void Slash and the Supernova Collapse for the orb damage, alongside Inferno Wave, Hellfire and the Serial Fire Bombs for quick fire AoV clears. Summon Satellite will enhance basic attacks, while Barrier is the primary defensive tool. Passive skills, such as the Stellar Echo, Astral Overseer and the Flame Condensation, will amplify the crit chance, mana sustain and burning damage. Skill specializations further will improve the range, cooldowns and mobility. Our combos will be a mix of orb summoning with the AoV bursts of fire chains for massive damage rotations, and then weapon mastery unlocks boost to the crit, mana and the skill damage for both the orb and the staff. Overall, the build shines with the Chaos Harbinger artifact, the Blood Knight gear and the dexterity based runes. It excels in group content with strong burst and versatility, but suffers from the high mana cost, no self-healing and reliance on the precise combos. Then at number 2, we have the Dagger and the crossbow build. This is a high DPS and mobility heavy setup that's optimized for both mob clearing and single target bursts. The core stats will emphasize dexterity for damage and the crit, with the secondary investment into the wisdom for mana and the cooldown help, and then even perception for the range, hit chance and the buff utility. Then for weapons and gear, the best choices include a high crit and attack speed crossbow, for example the Rex Jumeirus crossbow, paired with a strong dagger such as the Liquor's Wicked Thorns. Then armor and accessories are focused on the range evasion, mana regeneration and cooldown reduction, as well as very high crit enhancements. Then for skills and rotations, the key skills are the Quick Fire, which will often be with the lightning or the poison infusion. Then Shadow Strike, Nimble Leap, Mortal Mark, Brutal Incision or even the Thundercloud Bombing. The build often stacks Thunderclouds or similar debuffs and then detonates them via the burst skills. We also use mobility and offhand throw type of attacks as fillers and to maintain uptime. Then rotations can be skill intensive, but they will give us a very high burst damage, excellent mobility and flexibility versus the bosses and the mobs. But the downsides is that this build is a high mana consumption, relatively complex rotations, weaker sustainability if caught without cooldowns or even evasion, and then on top of it you can be vulnerable when the enemies or monsters can close the gap. Then for our third build, we have the Orb and a Wand. This is a versatile DPS setup that focuses on rapid magical attacks, strong AoV and reliable sustain. The Orb provides fast projectile pressure and the burst combos, while the Wand adds a consistent damage, crowd control and the mana efficiency, making the build sustainable for both solo play and the group PvE content. For stats, we should focus on dexterity to boost critical damage and the attack speed, with the wisdom to improve mana regeneration and the cooldown efficiency. Then the secondary investment into the strength or perception can help with the survivability and the accuracy. The core active skills will center around the orb summoning like the Star Calling and the Summon Constellation. Annihilation, paired with a high impact ability such as the Void Slash, Interstellar Explosion and the Supernova Collapse. The wand will supplement these with skills like the Magic Missile and the control effects by offering a consistent pressure between the orb bursts. The barrier is the primary defensive tool by ensuring our survivability. Then the passive skills like the Stellar Echo, Astral Overseer and the Mana Imp will boost mana sustain, cooldown reduction and the critical efficiency, while our wand passives will enhance stability and control. Overall, this build will excel in fast rotations, chaining orb bursts with the wand fillers to maintain damage uptime and much more. This build offers great AoV, reliable single target damage and flexible playstyle, though it requires strong mana management and quick reactions to maximize effectiveness. Then next we have a sword and a shield with a Greatsword build, which is a balanced melee setup that combines survivability, utility, and a powerful burst damage. The SNS will provide excellent defenses, crowd control, and tank-like durability, while the Greatsword delivers heavy hitting skills that punish enemies with devastating critical strikes and even wide AoV swings. Together, they will create a build that thrives in both group content and solo play. For stats, we should focus on the strength for raw physical power and survivability, while we get dexterity for critical damage and the faster attacks. Constitution can also be valuable for additional health and the sturdiness in prolonged fights. Active skills will revolve around the shield-based defenses, like the Fortress and the Bulwark to absorb damage, paired with the offensive Greatsword abilities such as the Executioner's Strike, Earth Cleaver and the Whirlwind Slash for massive AoV and the burst potential. Also, the shield will offer crowd control through the stunts and the knockbacks by creating openings for the Greatsword combos. Then our passive skills will boost our block chance, cooldown recovery and the critical scaling, giving us smooth transitions between the defense and the offense. Overall, this build excels at controlling the fights, mitigating incoming damage and punishing opponents with explosive Greatsword bursts. This is perfect for players who want a frontline role that blends protection with overwhelming melee damage. Then for 5th build, we got the wand and a bow. This one is a hybrid range setup that focuses on consistent magical pressure, with powerful single target bursts and strong support utility. The wand provides reliable damage, mana regeneration and the crowd control tools, while the bow delivers critical hits, rapid range strikes and finishing power. Together, they create a versatile build that shines in both PvE and PvP. For stats, you should prioritize dexterity for the higher critical damage and attack speed, while wisdom is important for the mana sustain and the cooldown reduction. Then perception can also be valuable for the accuracy and the range effectiveness. Active skills will combine wand spells with the magic missiles, mana drain and the arcane burst with the bow ability such as the quick fire, charge shot and the snipe. This allows you to open with the sustained magical pressure, then swap to the bow for powerful critical strikes. The crowd control options from the wand will also help keep enemies at bay by letting the bow deal damage safely from a distance. Then passive skills will enhance the mana regeneration, critical hit chance and the skill efficiency by ensuring a very steady damage output. Next, we got a bow and a staff build, which is a high damage range setup that blends precision archery with devastating magical AoV. The bow provides consistent single target pressure, rapid crits and mobility, while the staff adds powerful elemental skills, burning effects and large-scale aerial damage. This combination makes the build excel for both boss fights and clearing groups of enemies in PvE. The stat should focus on dexterity to boost critical damage and attack speed, with wisdom to enhance mana regeneration and the cooldown efficiency. Perception also adds value for accuracy and additional damage scaling. Active skills will revolve around the bow techniques like the quick fire, charge shot and the explosive arrow, paired with staff ability such as the Inferno Wave, Hellfire Rain and the Interstellar Explosion. Together, these will create a rotation that chains high crits with AoV bursts. Then defensive tools like the barrier can be used for survivability, and passive skills will enhance our critical chance, mana sustain and the burning damage by ensuring smooth rotations and strong scaling. Overall, this build excels by combining single target and AoV damage and offering flexibility across all the content. It plays fast, rewards precision and can dish out both sustained DPS and explosive bursts. For number 7, we have a wand and a staff build, which is a pure caster setup designed for powerful sustained damage, strong AoV pressure and the excellent mana control. The wand serves as a foundation for the consistent single target spells, resource management and utility, while the staff adds explosive elemental attacks and the burning effects to devastate groups of enemies. Together, they create a high output DPS build, which is perfect for PvE and group content. For stats, you should prioritize Wisdom for the mana regeneration, cooldown efficiency and the skill effectiveness. Then Dexterity is valuable for boosting critical damage, while Strength or Perception can provide added survivability and the accuracy. Active skills combine steady wand abilities like the Magic Missile, Mana Drain and the Arcane Burst with heavy hitting staffs like Inferno Wave, Hellfire Rain, and the Supernova Collapse. These skills allow you to rotate between efficient single target pressure. Defensive options like the Barrier will improve survivability, while the mana-focused skills will ensure uptime. This build excels at delivering constant magical damage while managing resource effectively. It's perfect for players who want a high mana, high damage caster playstyle with both precision and explosive potential. Then for number 8, we got the Spear and the Dagger build, which is a fast, aggressive melee setup focused on the high burst damage, mobility, and the fluid combos. The Spear provides strong reach, crowd control, and the piercing AoE, while the Dagger excels at quick critical strikes and sustained single target pressure. By combining this, we create a versatile DPS build that thrives in both PvE and group encounters. For stats, we should emphasize Dexterity to boost critical damage and attack speed, with the Strength adding raw power and survivability. Then Perception can also improve accuracy and the damage consistency. Active skills revolve around spear techniques like the Piercing Strike, Sweeping Thrust, and the Impaling Charge for control and AoE, while Dagger abilities such as the Shadow Strike, Brutal Incision, and the Venom Injections will deliver rapid critical bursts. This combination allows you to engage from the range with a spear, and then dive in with the daggers to finish enemies quickly. Passive skills enhance attack speed, critical hit rate, and the skill damage, while also providing stamina and mana efficiency to maintain a relentless pace. Overall, this build excels at mobility, weaving in and out of fights and punishing enemies with fast, precise combos. Then for one of the last ones, we got a bow and a crossbow build, which is an insane range setup that focuses on high critical damage, rapid firepower, and a strong single target burst. The bow delivers precision shots, mobility, and reliable sustained damage, while the crossbow adds devastating rapid fire abilities, and even a high crit scaling, making the build perfect for boss fights and long-range encounters. The stat should prioritize Dexterity to maximize critical damage and attack speed. Then Perception is also available for accuracy and the range effectiveness, while Strength can provide an extra boost to our survivability. Active skills combine both techniques like the Quickfire, Charge Shot, and Explosive Arrow, with the crossbow abilities such as the Rapid Bolt, Venom Shot, and the Thundercloud Bombing. This rotation allows you to open with the bow precision, then swap to the crossbow for high-speed critical bursts, and creating a deadly synergy of steady DPS and explosive finishers. Mobility skills will keep you safe while maintaining pressure from the range. Then passive skills will enhance the attack speed, critical hit rate, and damage over time effects, ensuring consistent scaling throughout the fight. This build excels at kiting enemies, delivering rapid critical strikes, and even overwhelming bosses with powerful combos. It's perfect for players who want a high-tempo range playstyle that is focused on precision and the burst damage. And now for the last one, we got a Greatsword and a Spear build. This is a heavy melee setup that combines raw power, crowd control, and high AoE damage. The Greatsword provides devastating swings, wide-reaching attacks, and powerful burst potential, while the Spear adds reach, control, and the piercing damage, allowing the build to dominate both the groups of enemies and single targets in PvE. For stats, you should prioritize Strength for the raw damage and survivability, with Dexterity to improve attack speed and critical scaling. Then Constitution can be useful for the extra health, ensuring durability during prolonged fights. Then active skills will focus on the Greatsword techniques, like the Whirlwind Slash, Executioner Strike, and the Earth Cleaver for massive AoE and the burst damage. And then the Spear abilities, such as the Piercing Thrust, Sweeping Charge, and Impale complement these by controlling crowds, keeping enemies at bay and allowing for precise follow-up attacks. Combining both weapons will enable fluid rotations that mix reach, heavy damage, and the crowd control manipulation. Passive skills will boost critical damage, skill efficiency, and the stamina management, making sustained combat more effective. Overall, this build excels at frontline combat, controlling the battlefield and delivering devastating melee damage.